Hi, this is April again. My persuasive speech is about a topic that I'm sure most of the people in our class are very interested about. It is why college education isn't provided for free. It is becoming more and more evident that having a secondary education is needed nowadays to have any sort of career. We are losing jobs in America because we do not have people that are trained to fill the positions. And many countries in Europe already offer free college, and it seems that it's working out pretty good for them. But first off, what is really good about free college, other than that it's a free ride, and that's always good? The first and best part for our country is that it would improve our economy and bring us jobs. Even if jobs showed up in America, the jobs we needed showed up in America, we wouldn't have the people trained to fill those positions. And it's because of all the unemployment, it's draining our welfare, and it's hurting our national economies. Another more general idea on why a secondary education is good is because people who are more educated live a better lifestyle, making lifestyles better for future generations. It can also simple advancement of mankind, so we're no longer faced with daily survival challenges, and it causes an increase in humanitarianism, volunteerism, and entrepreneurship. What could be bad about free college? There's a lot of debatable topics on what could be bad. There could be lots of people who sign up and never finish their degree, drop out, and just waste a lot of time and money for themselves and for the country. People who have already earned college degrees and have paid for them will lose the value of their degree, and they want to be repaid for what they paid for the degree, or their college or their student loan debt to be wiped free, which of course won't be possible if the United States of America started offering free health care to everyone tomorrow, and I had surgery last year. I couldn't ask the government to pay me back for the surgery. I look at it in that type of view, and it seems more silly that there would be much of an argument over that. They also worry that there'll be an overload of people trying to go to college, overloading the system, and then too many people coming out of college with the same degree, or so many people coming out with degrees at the same time, that it will hurt the people who are already working in the workforce, or that all the people graduating at the same time won't be able to find degrees. I think that this could be easily regulated by starting off by offering free college only to the people who most deserve it: single mothers, people who just graduated high school, low income, or people with disabilities. Scott Hines, co-founder and president COO of the World Education University, which is a free college, says, quote, "I often hear people say that if one doesn't pay for their education, they won't appreciate it, work for it, or ever complete a degree program. Rubbish. I agree with him," end quote. I agree with him completely. I think that going to school and putting all the work and effort for years and years is enough to know that your degree is worthwhile. Also, if you've ever worked in the workforce before you earned your degree, you know what kind of job you'd have to put up with without it. I put off going to college for so long because I was so scared of that money I would have to spend. I didn't know what degree I wanted. I was scared if I chose the wrong major, I'd be out tens of thousands of dollars, and so it was the opposite for me, or that I would get a degree and it wouldn't help me make any more. I wouldn't make any more money with the degree. So the argument that you have to pay for it or it's worthless, I also think is kind of a silly argument to have against free college. Another good debatable argument, something that could affect us a lot, would be that taxes would be paying for college instead of personally, which is how our Schools are funded K through 12 right now, and people who don't have kids don't seem to have a problem with paying to send other people's kids to school. Now that it's becoming necessary for us to have these degrees, I think it's just a necessary responsibility that all Americans need to take on. Jeffrey Sachs, who in his books The Price of Civilization states that the cost of making all public making all public higher education free in America would be between 15 and 30 billion dollars. Sounds like a lot, but the government is actually spending billions spending $billion for nonprofit schools and other colleges who have very low graduation rates. If colleges become free, also universities like Harvard or other private schools could probably stay open. Just like there are private schools for high school, there could still be private, more expensive schools for college. And also, so the secondary school system that the government supplies could also be made much cheaper than the colleges that are standard today that you see. Large buildings, statues, courtyards, huge libraries full of books. Now that we can do so much online, the federally run colleges could have a lot less buildings if most of the classes are done online. You wouldn't ever have to build a library if they made one really wonderful library online, and you could have that online library for every student in America. It would save enormous amounts of money for maintenance, staff, electric, utilities, buildings, land, and the price of college would go down so much there that it wouldn't be as expensive as we were being charged now for school. Let's see. The last thing is that this debate has actually already happened 100 years ago in this country. And around the turn of the century, 1900, about 10% of Americans graduated from high school. And if you asked somebody back then if they thought close to 100% should, they would say no, that it would be a huge waste of time and money and expensive, because no way would 100% of America need a high school education. That would be way too much. So the fact that in 100 years, our opinion has changed drastically, and so many people already think that we need a 4-year degree to be equivalent to what a high school was 30 years ago. I think that in 20 years, everyone will agree that just as we did 20 years ago, that high school degree is something that you should have. Everyone will agree in 20 years that a bachelor's degree is something that you really should have. Otherwise, you're not very helpful to the workforce at all. To go over, free college in America would be extremely useful because of our situation with jobs, not having employment in the country, and we need to educate our citizens so that they can take jobs even if they are available. We need to be allowed to, or we need to offer college to everyone, not just those who are rich or can afford certain things. It should be offered to every person in America, should be treated equally. And I think that times are changing, and no longer is a high school diploma good enough for the workforce. You need to have some sort of extra education. All right, thank you very much.